Excuse me, Yagami-san?
Huh? Koda-san, what's up? Did a teacher call you over?
Actually, I wanted to talk to you.
Okay.
I saw it on the news earlier. Mikoshiba-sensei was killed. But you already knew that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I figured you knew something.
Guess that's why you've been asking about him. You should have told us, man.
I couldn't. I knew how hard you guys would have taken it.
You know who did it? I mean a lot for us to know. Seeing how he looked after us and all.
We're still in the dark about that mostly. Unless you guys have any leads. All we have to go on is he was probably killed soon after he stopped going to class.
So, he really was murdered.
They said on TV it took them 2 months to find the body. Could that mean it happened on the day he went missing?
A good theory, Matsun, but you're starting to sound like one of those mystery club geeks.
Oh, what did Sawa-sensei tell you? She give you anything solid?
Nah, we didn't really get into it yesterday. Way too many, other things came up.
Damn. It's hard hearing all this, man. Will you at least keep us posted if you find out anything?
No promises, I'm afraid. But hey, I'm glad you guys are warming up to me.
I'm Matsui, by the way.
That's more like it.
Could you keep me in the loop too? I didn't like Mikoshiba-sensei much, but I never imagined this. Now I'm kinda conflicted about the whole thing.
I get that.
Anyway, I should get going.
Hey, Sawa-sensei?
Look, I know I can't keep you off campus. I don't have that kind of authority. But would you please stop bothering me?
Can you at least tell me what happened yesterday?
Enough! How many times must I repeat myself?
Hey, Tsukumo? It's me. You think you could pin down where Mikoshiba's body was discovered?
Of course. In fact, I could do that pretty quickly. Why? Did you want to go there now?
That's the idea.
Okay, but do note that it's been a few days since they found him. The police may have already scooped up the evidence.
Yeah, but I want to check it out anyway. Then I can decide if it was a waste of time.
In other words, you've got a detective's intuition? What a superpower to have. Okay, here we go. They found Mikoshiba's body in an abandoned building near Sakura River. It's near a small park. On the second floor of the building, specifically. The first floor is just a bunch of empty boutiques.
You're the man, Tsukumo. Thanks. Suspicious. Hey. What the? Hey. What the? Hey. Suspicious. Hey. Suspicious. Uh-huh. Suspicious. Hey. Hello? Anybody here? Coming through. Now, where exactly was the body? There's gotta be some clues that'll give me that. Are these burn marks? Suspicious.
Hey, I heard something. Who's there? State your name and purpose.
Well...
Get some backup over here.
Hey, now, wait a second. Could we maybe talk this out?
Put your hands up and turn around. Who are you and what were you up to? Takayuki Yagami. The Yagami Detective Agency.
Yeah, in Kamurocho.
Weren't you the guy at Seirio yesterday? I could have sworn I saw your face there.
Huh? Maybe.
The name's Watanabe. Kanagawa PD Division 1. Charmed, I'm sure. This fella here is Sakurai.
Sup?
So, you think barging into a crime scene was a real bright idea?
What, I thought you guys were done here. I figured I could take a look around. What?
You wouldn't happen to be working with Genda Law, would you?
Huh?
You hear on Shirosaki-sensei's business? Saori Shirosaki, right? The grouchy one.
Okay, how'd you know?
Well, it started when Miko Shiba's body turned up. Once our investigation kicked off, we found out about that pervert cop in Tokyo. Seems he knew where the body would be. But when we went to go see him, HQ pumped the brakes. They said no interviews on this one. Much to our amusement, we ended up being directed to Shirosaki, the perv's lawyer. So being that Genda Law Office is in Kamurocho, and you're a Kamurocho detective working your case, that means either the two of you are connected, or I'm really losing my touch.
Well, you've certainly got my number. Now that you know, how about taking these cuffs off?
Smooth, but the jury's still out on you, pal. First, you got any thoughts on all that?
On anything specific?
The part about HQ locking us out of interviewing Ehara, smart guy. Here we are with a material witness who it turns out knew about a corpse rotting away for 2 months. And those Tokyo chuckleheads just shut us out. Balls even for those tight asses.
Ehara was Tokyo PD, so wouldn't they want to protect him? They probably want it handled discreetly.
Nah, if only it were that simple. This isn't about protection. They get burnt real bad if they tried to bury this shit under the rug. Besides, not only is this cop a nasty creep, he's got ties to a fucking murder. Another prefecture blows the lid on that, the top brass may as well kiss their jobs goodbye. Heads would roll. They've got to wash the shit stains off their laundry to keep their asses clean.
Yeah, I could see how that makes sense.
Anyway, so HQ told us their boys would look into Ehara. What we had to do was hand them our notes on the murder. Can you believe that crap? Like hell we're gonna bend over for them. But look where that's got us. Now nobody's interrogated Ehara.
Are Kanagawa and Tokyo PD really fighting over who gets the credit? Don't tell me they're that petty.
Like you wouldn't believe. While the higher-ups play intel hoarding games, Ehara is just sitting pretty. Shit. The cop's supposed to be chasing down the perps. Instead, here I am with my hands tied, bitching to a PI.
So I'm your therapist now.
I was gonna take you down to the station, put the squeeze on you. But if you're a half-decent detective, maybe we could collaborate.
Oh yeah?
I mean, you came all the way from Kamurocho to sniff around here, right? I highly doubt you found much. But tell me something I don't know and maybe the cuffs will fall off.
You proposing a deal?
Depends on if what you've got is worth making one.
Okay. How about this?
What the hell?
Hiro Miko Shiba. Was this taken here? Right before he died?
did you get this? What kind of shit you trying to pull?
I could tell you better with the cuffs off.
More craftier than I thought. Fine, let him loose. Alright, let me get this straight. Right before you met up with this Seiryo High teacher, a strange woman showed up with this photo?
Yeah, I couldn't get a good look at her. But it seems whatever threat she made worked. Sawa-sensei wouldn't say a thing after that.
Saw was the one who supervised Mikoshiba for his student teaching program.
I know that. So, this woman you're talking about must have had it in with the culprits. You know, they were working in a group.
That's quite a revelation. What makes you so sure about that?
Sakurai, show him the photo of the body. And spare me the protocol lecture. I'm sick of this going nowhere. If Hotshot here is gonna look into Ehara for us, we may as well take advantage of it.
You're the boss, Nabe-san.
Mikoshiba was last seen alive 2 months ago, October 7th, 6:30 a.m. He was talking to his mother as he exited their house back in the city. Since there were no other sightings of him, it's likely he was abducted a short ways from his home. This had to be done by vehicle, as common sense would tell us. So there must have been at least 2 suspects, a driver and a handler. If it were me, I'd have put 3 on the job.
So that's why you figured it was a group effort. Sounds logical to me.
Mm-hmm. Now, according to the autopsy report, they found food in the poor guy's stomach. Based on how digested it was, we can assume he was killed at least an hour after breakfast, putting it around 7:30. And not long after, he was brought here. His throat was slit with a knife. Get all that, Hotshot? And what was our friend Ehara doing at that time? The old perv was walking through Ikebukuro's ticket gates around 7:43 a.m. This was stated in court and corroborated by multiple security tapes.
But if that's true, he couldn't possibly have killed Mikoshiba. It's 30 kilometers between here and Ikebukuro.
Yeah, that's the meat of his alibi. Yet somehow he knew Mikoshiba's body would be discovered 2 months after his arrest, despite being in custody the whole time. So there's no doubt he's connected to the killers. If we can just put the screws to him, he'd squeal. Damn it, HQ! Why the hell are we out here working the site if it's already been picked clean?
All right, Nabe-san. Deep breaths.
Yeah. But do you see why we've got to get someone in to talk to Ehara? Hell, beg Shirosaki-sensei for a visit if you have to. HQ can't say squat about his attorney visiting.
What you said raises some questions of my own, about the crime scene and the body.
Oh yeah? Ask away then.
What shape was the body in when it was found?
Full of maggots and decomposing bad. His hands were zip-tied behind the chair, securing him in place. The cause of death was the throat wound, but before that, they really worked him over. Rough way for the guy to go.
Damn.
They even broke all his fingers. On both hands.
That sounds painful.
Fucked up, right? I'm guessing a professional did this. Could be Yakuza, could be Mafia. Take your pick. We've got some guys checking that angle out too, just to make sure there's no stone left unturned.
Doesn't this place have a manager? I'm sure it wasn't always like this.
There is a property owner. He's been around Ijincho forever, but the building's been deserted for 2 years. Apparently, there was a padlock to keep the homeless out, but it was long gone by the time they found the body. Broken by the killers, most likely.
I noticed the burn marks on the floor in the shape of an arrow. What's with that?
Somebody lit flares here, ones that shoot red smoke. It was only a matter of time before the fire department got called, and they're the ones who stumbled on the body. Pretty obvious the culprit set up a smoke signal to make sure the body got found. They probably had the timing all worked out with Ehara so he could predict the body's discovery from maximum impact. And that's exactly what he did, just as the judge handed down the sentence.
What would be the point of that, though?
For all I know, he just wanted to blow everyone's minds.
How narrow is the window for Mikoshiba's estimated time of death?
Based on how digested his breakfast was, he was killed somewhere between 7:30 and noon on the morning of October 7th.
Pretty impressed you can narrow it down like that with a 2-month-old corpse.
Yeah, well, the window gets much bigger if we consider the possibility that the killers forced Mikoshiba to eat. At any point after the kidnapping, they could have made him eat a typical Mikoshiba family breakfast.
It's possible. All they had to do was make him say what he usually eats.
Good, we're on the same page. Now, if we take into account the decomposition of the body, Mikoshiba's estimated time of death actually ranges from 7:30 a.m. on October 7th all the way to the end of that month. So about 3 weeks.
3 weeks? That's a massive gap. Can't we narrow it down further?
The body's just too decomposed to do that. But expand the time frame all you want. Ehara was in custody through the whole thing, so he couldn't have done the deed.
Right. He spent 2 months behind bars. Hate to think a different crime got him such a strong alibi.
In any case, someone else killed Mikoshiba. And if we could just get in the same room as him, we'd know who that is.
What was the victim's cause of death? The news called it a massive hemorrhage.
Yup. They slit his throat and let him bleed to death. After tying him to a chair, the killer stood behind him. Lifting his chin with his left hand, his right hand slid the knife.
Sounds like you guys have that bit on lockdown, huh?
It's one of the few things we're sure of.
Has the murder weapon been found?
No. There were no weapons at the scene. Real shame. That'd be some decisive evidence.
So when you said it was a knife, was that a guess based on analyzing the wound?
I wouldn't call it a guess. The coroner outright stated that the weapon was a sharp knife-like instrument.
I think I'm starting to get the picture here. That should be it for questions.
Tell me, you detectives out in Kamurocho always this hands-on?
Sorry, what?
I'm saying you guys work quick. We had barely set foot in Seiryu High, and you already had the run of the place. Hell, you even closed in on that Sawa-sensei and got a meeting with her.
I was just lucky to have been there on another case.
Is that right? What? What's wrong?
Somebody's spying on us with binoculars.
No shit?
3 men, 30s probably. The one with binoculars is wearing a black jacket. My number's on my card!
Yagami!
Hey, wait up! Hold up!
Leave me alone!
You won't get away!
Get away from me!
Hold up!
Cut it out! Get away from me!
You won't get away! You run off to.
Damn, hotshot. You're quick on your feet. So let's hear why this fool had eyes on us.
He claims he just wanted to see the scene for himself.
It's true. Ask the other two guys with me. They'll be here any minute.
So you were here gawking, is that it? Better than busting in like you own the place.
I thought that was water under the bridge.
So, who are you? Why'd you run?
I ran because I saw a cop jump out a window and charge at me. Were you saying you'd stick around if you saw that?
He thinks you're a cop. Should we get you a badge and a hat?
I'd be honored.
Do you have any ID on you?
Will my license work?
Kake-san, age 30.
What do you do for work?
Oh, I'm just a professional pencil pusher. Biotech, planning and management.
Are your other two pals biologists too?
No, one's an investor and the other's a consultant. We all went to high school together.
Says here you have a Tokyo address. What brings you to Yokohama?
Oh, well, I'm organizing a class reunion in Chinatown. So I came to scope out the location in advance.
This ain't the way to Chinatown, pal.
Oh, we thought since we came all the way to Yokohama, we might as well peek at the crime scene.
Pretty morbid idea, isn't it?
I suppose.
What high school did you all attend?
Kurakawa Academy, a private school in Tokyo. Hey, over here!
We'll need to verify your buddy's identification as well. I suggest you all cooperate. Nabe-san!
Alright, you jokers are free to go. Appreciate you being so civil. Guess that settles it. You're just dumbass rubberneckers. Tough break, huh? After all you went through chasing them down.
I don't mind. I'm autos to always swing for the fences.
Yeah, well, your strikeout was pretty amusing. The guy who goes down swinging is alright in my book. Now that that's settled, give my regards to Shirosaki-sensei. If you get some dirt on Ihara soon.
Excuse me. Does that mean... What a waste. Really, guys? What a waste.
Enough is enough! Well...
Huh?
Hey!
Yagami-shi!
Yep.
I owe you one.
Hey.
Sure.
Ah. Huh? Huh.
Yep.
Got you. Not really picking it up. Signal's weak. I think I'm facing the wrong way. Not really picking it up. Signal's weak. Not really picking it up. I think I'm facing the wrong way. Bingo.
Huh?
Excuse me. Oh. Yep. Hmm? Huh? Excuse me.
Yep.
In other words, Oh. I see. Hello?
Yagami-san, do you have a minute? It's Shiosaki.
Oh, I was just about to call you. I was gonna say I've got some leads on the murder. By the way, you wouldn't happen to know a Detective Watanabe, would you? From Kanagawa PD?
Oh, yes. He came asking me about the harassment case. Apparently he couldn't interview Ehara, so he got us instead.
Want to know why that is? Apparently Tokyo PD suspects Ehara might be linked to the murder in some way. And since they don't want Kanagawa stealing the show, they're blocking their investigators out.
That does make sense. Not in a bureaucratic way.
By the way, when's your next appointment with Ehara?
As soon as we're ready, honestly. Did you want to come along?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. But I'd like to do a bit more research beforehand. I want to know exactly how Ehara's crime played out.
Funny you should say that. Hoshino-kun just told me he's going to re-inspect the crime scene tomorrow. He said it'd be best to plot Ehara's movement from Ikebukuro all the way to Shinjuku, where he was caught.
No kidding. Then I ought to go with.
If that's the case, hold on one sec.
Okay.
Yagami-san? It's me, Hoshino. I'm stoked to hear you'll be helping me out tomorrow.
I'm stoked to be there. Oh, and could you bring the statements from Ehara's arrest with you? It'd be a huge help if you could walk me through what happened on site.
You got it. We'll be starting from Ikebukuro Station, so just meet me there tomorrow.
Will do. See you then. What a waste.
Okay, see that sign right there? Ihara was leaning on that before the incident. Yep, just like that. He was standing around searching for a victim. Ihara's the man in the cap and sunglasses.
So, Ihara was lingering at the platform a while, huh?
Yeah, he walked past the ticket gate at 7:43 a.m. This was confirmed by the security tapes, as well as when he swiped his transit card. After that, he wandered the platform an entire hour ogling women.
He spent that long choosing a target?
Yeah. Sick, isn't it?
Then the security camera that caught him would be... that one?
That's right. Anyhow, at 9:06 a.m., Ihara finally honed in on his would-be victim. Then he boarded her train, which was departing for Shinjuku.
She's the one in the pink cardigan and white skirt?
Yeah, Yui Mamiya, an office worker and mother of a 6-year-old boy. The two of them show up on the train's interior cam as well. According to the victim's statement, Ihara began by rubbing her posterior with the back of his hand. But it didn't stop there. After that, he put his hand up her skirt.
Pretty sickening.
I'm assuming he targeted someone shy, thinking she wouldn't resist. Makes me angry just thinking about it. The victim stated she was too scared to call for help, meaning she endured this for 6 minutes until the train reached its stop in Shinjuku.
Can you send what you just showed me to my phone?
Sure. Now let's head to Shinjuku Station. Then we can watch as the jerk gets busted. Even if we did defend him in court, an asshole's still an asshole. Looks like we're getting close to Shinjuku.
The train's pretty light right now, but it was packed during the crime, right?
Oh yeah, the car occupancy at that time of day can easily reach 180%.
And Ihara should have been standing roughly where I am. What the? Hey. What the? Hey.
Ihara and Mamiya-san both exited the train and got onto the platform here. But right before that, Mamiya-san suddenly grabbed Ihara's wrist and yanked his hand out from under her skirt. That's when she got a good look at her assailant.
So without a doubt, she saw it was him.
Yes, and there were also traces of her garments on his hand during evidence analysis. Anyway, after being grabbed, Ihara wrenched himself free and took off at a sprint. See, here he gets off the train and bolts across the platform. And Mamiya-san chases after him, asking people around her for help.
This is what they kept looping on TV.
Yeah. And honestly, with all this evidentiary footage, defending him in court was a lost cause.
Was there any security footage that wasn't aired on TV?
Sure, take a look around you. There's more than just one camera pointed at us. They're practically everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
as for what I was saying earlier, Ihara was finally tackled right in front of those stairs. Oh, right. I have a diagram of the platform to show you.
So Ihara gets off the train here, and then gets apprehended here. How far apart is that?
Roughly 100 meters. Both he and the victim were weaving their way through the crowd. The whole scene was very chaotic. Even after Ihara was caught, the train was stalled 20 minutes until the area was deemed safe.
Hey, you think we could get the positions of all these cameras and where they're pointing penciled in?
Good idea. Let's check each camera's position as we walk over to where Ihara was detained. That's where he got tackled, so if you could let me know whenever you see a camera. I can mock it up on our diagram here.
What the? Suspicious. Hey. Uh-huh. What the? Uh-huh. Suspicious.
Looks like we checked all the nearby cameras. Let's go up a little further now.
Suspicious.
Looks like we checked all the nearby cameras. Let's move on.
Hey. What the? Suspicious. What the? Uh-huh. Hey.
Okay, looks like we got all the cameras. Our diagram is now complete. Now,
What the? Hey, what the? Suspicious. What the? Suspicious. Hey. Hey. Suspicious.
so this was the general situation when Ihara committed his crime. What do you think, Yagami-san? Anything of note?
Do you think Ihara and Mamiya-san were riding the train pretty frequently?
Oh yeah, Mamiya-san commuted by train. She was here every weekday. Same goes for Ihara, actually, but he was off that day. Supposedly, he was going to see his wife, even though they're separated.
Did he ever say why he wandered around the platform for an hour?
He said the thought of his wife had him flustered, and he couldn't force himself to board the train. He always had an excuse ready for anything you asked him, including the harassment charges. He pled not guilty, but the evidence said otherwise. There wasn't a single argument we could make in court to establish reasonable doubt.
Safe to say he did it. But on the same day, he knew his son's bully would be murdered in Ijincho. Pretty clear it wasn't a spontaneous need to grab some ass.
I agree. It's almost like all the commotion around the harassment might have been planned out. Maybe everything was, even down to getting captured.
Yeah. You really played everyone by turning harassment into an alibi for murder. No matter how much evidence points to him as a killer, he can deny it with complete immunity.
This is getting crazier by the minute.
At the very least, he had something to do with it. Some connection. But I can't imagine he'll talk. Whatever his plan is, it's pretty clear Ihara is committed.
To what? Getting revenge for his son?
I think so.
Who do you think his accomplices could be? Ihara's a veteran cop. Think maybe he knows how to hire an actual assassin? If so, he could have just paid for his revenge, right?
Sure. But assassins cost an arm and a leg. He wasn't rich before all this, was he?
No. He barely scraped up enough to cover his lawsuit against the school.
Thought so.
Hey, it's Shiosaki.
What's up, Sari-san?
I'm scheduling an interview with Ihara tomorrow at the Tokyo Detention Center. We'll take a taxi from Genda's if that all works for you.
Sounds good. But I need to head back to Ijincho for now.
Something you forgot to do?
Yeah. It involves Ihara's motive. which would be without a doubt his son's suicide. So I want to confirm if Mikoshiba really bullied the kid, and the best person to ask happens to be down in Ichincho.
All right, then I'll let you get to it.
Cool. Then I'll see you tomorrow. Got a minute?
No, not for you. I really have nothing more to say.
What if I told you it's looking more and more likely Ihara-san had a hand in Mikoshiba's death?
Well, it doesn't concern me.
Ihara-san believes Mikoshiba tormented Toshiro-kun so badly that he took his own life. But neither the third-party investigation nor the courts were on his side. So what's the truth here? You know, don't you? What really happened between Mikoshiba and Toshiro-kun? Why won't you tell me the truth?
Why do you keep asking? I said I don't know!
I'm going to the detention center tomorrow to get some answers out of Ihara-san.
What?
I saw where Mikoshiba was murdered. He endured no shortage of cruelty before he died. They tortured him, you know. They broke all his fingers before they slit his throat.
No.
And somehow Ihara-san knew Mikoshiba would be killed on the day he got caught for groping. It's like he did it to prove he had nothing to do with the murder. But maybe that wasn't his real objective at all.
Huh?
I think he wanted to signal that he'd finally avenged his son.
The body belongs to a guy named Hiro Mikoshiba. 4 years ago, this man took my son from me by driving him to commit suicide.
If I'm gonna face him tomorrow, I can't go in without some ammunition. So, 4 years ago, did Mikoshiba bully Toshiro-kun or not? That's all I want to know.
My answer won't change. There's no evidence Mikoshiba-kun did anything wrong.
Are you sure about that? Take a look at this.
That's...
Toshiro Ihara, your student. Imagine that he's listening to what you're saying now. If you can look at him and say Mikoshiba played no part in his death, I'll leave you alone. In fact, you'll never hear a word from me again. So which is it?
"4 years ago, not long after I'd transferred here to teach English. That's when it started. I was trying my best to get acclimated, and I was finally on a first-name basis with everyone. One day, after school, I was out on the roof taking a break, when Toshiro-kun suddenly ran by. I called out to him to ask what was wrong, but he shushed me and kept running. I saw he had a bloody nose. Moments later, Mikoshiba-kun showed up. He was looking for him. I told him I hadn't seen him. Toshiro-kun's face told me everything I needed to know.
So Mikoshiba was bullying him after all.
Yes. Toshiro-kun told me this later on. Whenever he'd leave school with Mikoshiba-kun and his friends, they'd force him to hand over money. At first, they'd try to pass it off as a joke. They said since he lowered the class average on tests, he ought to buy them all drinks as an apology. And Mikoshiba-kun, he was having too much fun with it to stop. He started offering tutoring sessions to Toshiro-kun, only so he and his crew could extract their tuition from him. They'd even break into his house while his mother was at work and take the money she left him for dinner. And if he couldn't pay, they'd beat him up at school or make him grovel in the bathroom.
Didn't anybody see what was really happening?
The teachers either saw nothing or turned a blind eye. Few students knew about it, though. Anyway, I ended up relaying everything Toshiro-kun had told me to those boys' homeroom teacher. Mind you, this teacher had tenure, title, and years of experience under his belt. Do you know what he told me? He said not to cause a commotion because those boys were about to graduate.
Why does that not surprise me?
To be honest, it was hard to paint such an outwardly model student in a negative light. There was also no hard evidence to support Toshiro-kun's story. But someone still should have stepped in to help. If only I'd understood that at the time.
You tried.
The only thing I tried was to keep an eye out for him, making sure he wasn't alone, things like that. But unfortunately, that wasn't good enough. On the first morning of the 3rd trimester, Toshiro-kun tied a towel to his doorknob and hung himself in his room.
And that's when you confronted Mikoshiba, right? You asked him point blank if he'd bullied him.
I did. Mikoshiba-kun pretended to know nothing. He was more careful, shaken even, from then on. In all honesty, when I heard a third-party committee was investigating, I was hoping the truth would come out. Students were asked to fill out an anonymous questionnaire, and many of them wrote down exactly what they saw.
Hold on. Didn't the court end up declaring there was no substantial evidence of bullying? How could they have said that with those questionnaires on hand?
First of all, the committee never interviewed anyone directly. Those questionnaires were the only proof of anything. And the teacher of those boys was the one who collected them. Each time he came across any mention of bullying, he'd toss that questionnaire out. Also, he wouldn't get blamed in the end for ignoring the warning signs.
So then the committee was pointless.
A few students did speak up about the bullying online, but their posts weren't much to go on. Toshiro-kun's parents were completely caught off guard. His mother worked through the day, and his father lived all the way in Tokyo. That made it that much easier for the teacher to cover up all the evidence of bullying. He made that statement without even consulting the principal or the chairman. So, right before Mikoshiba-kun graduated, the committee presented their findings, that there was no evidence of bullying. The conclusion you've heard over and over.
What the hell?
In Japan, 300 children commit suicide every year, across all grades. Less than 3% are proven to be linked to bullying. Toshiro-kun's case ended up like that too. But Ehara-san wasn't satisfied with those findings, so he sued Seiryo High, demanding compensation for Toshiro-kun's death. As the trial dragged on, I was eventually called to the witness stand. Of course, my intention was to let everything I knew out into the open. But before that could happen, that damn teacher came with the school's attorney to see how I would testify.
They didn't want you making them look bad, huh?
Of course not. That's when I first learned what he did with those incriminating questionnaires. They had no choice but to reveal everything to me, to try and sway me to their side. I guess they were just that desperate. After all, I was the only adult who Toshiro-kun confided in. I don't think he'd spoken to his parents about it once. So yes, that's why there was never any objective evidence of bullying. It wasn't like I had a mind to record our conversations. And I hadn't personally witnessed it either. The school attorney saw fit to remind me that the law says innocent until proven guilty. And if I couldn't produce tangible evidence, then I shouldn't be accusing Mikoshiba-kun.
So it was witness tampering. That is, they coerced you into false testimony?
Yes.
Must have been incredibly hard on you.
What I should have done was told the truth regardless. But what else could I have really done for him? Some days I just don't know. As much as I've tried to convince myself I did everything I could for him, I can never fully believe it.
So what happened to the teacher who covered all this up?
He transferred to another school. God, to think he's still standing at a podium somewhere.
That's unfortunate.
Even so, I don't have the right to place the blame solely on him.
Maybe, but in that case, Mikoshiba's bullying of Toshiro, or those questionnaires getting discarded. Have you ever told anyone else?
No. I've been silent. Yagami-san, you know what? Back when I was a student in high school, I witnessed bullying firsthand. There was this kid. My classmates pushed him too far. And one day he just jumped off the roof.
Off the roof?
By some miracle, he survived the fall. And he's been in a coma for the last 13 years. Nobody knows if he'll ever wake up. His name is Mitsuru, and he may never open his eyes to the world again. His mom watches him, but she works full-time. She's a higher-up in the government.
I'm sorry to hear it.
The worst part is that his teacher knew. He even talked to the bullies about it. But all he said was, don't overdo it. But afterward, the public eviscerated him. He had to quit his teaching job. And yet, for poor Toshiro-kun, nobody was held responsible at all. And that includes me.
But if anyone was going to take responsibility for that, Mikoshiba should have been first in line. I'm sure Ihara-san must have thought the same thing.
You know what I wanted to be as a kid? I was so innocent, I wanted to be a teacher. And after Mitsuru-kun's tragedy, I felt practically obligated. And still, I just let history repeat itself.
Hmm? Either way.
Sure.
I see. Hmm?
Wait.
Huh, what? Who's a good boy? This way, huh? Doing great. This way, huh? Got something?
Oh,
Excuse me. What? I see. Hmm.
お願いね。
hmm.
Hmm? Are doing great. This way, huh? Got something? This way, huh? Got something? This way, huh? Excuse me.
嘘。
Hey. No way. Hey. In other words,
ええ、
no way. Excuse me.
お願いします。
Who's a good boy? Hmm. Hmm? Seriously?
Yagami-san!
Nope.
It can't be.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Does that mean...
What?
Hey.
I'm sorry.